15 Things You Didn't Know About Mother Teresa. Welcome to SECR of Universe, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. You know how we like to keep it varied, so we thought an infusion of spirituality and goodness might be just what you needed today. We're looking at the life of a very special role model, Mother Teresa, to get our inspiration from her life's work. Born on August 26, 1910, in Skopje of the former Ottoman Empire, now the capital of the Republic of Macedonia and named Anas Baku, she was born into a rather good family. Her father, Nicola, was a businessman involved in Albanian community politics at the time. Anas was baptized in the Catholic Church the day after her birth, which she considered to be her real birthday. She joined the religious congregation of the Sisters of Loreto when she was 18 years old and dedicated her life to charity, getting involved in helping people with AIDS, leprosy, or tuberculosis, managing orphanages, dispensaries, and mobile clinics, as well as setting up family counseling programs and so on. Mother Teresa was recognized by the Church as a saint or canonized on September 4, 2016, and her feast day is September 5th, the day of her death. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe. We thought it would be both interesting and enriching to get a closer look at the life of someone whose last achievement was to become a saint, to shed light on the controversial aspects of her life, and to get inspired by all the good she brought into the world. Here are 15 things you didn't know about Mother Teresa. 1. She realized her vocation when she was a child. Growing up in a place where Catholics were a minority, young Anas and her siblings started their education in a Catholic school. Born into a wealthy family that lost its status after the death of Anas's father, her mother kept the children close to the church to strengthen their faith through the dark times that made them poor. The siblings learned how to promote hospitality and charity and became fascinated by stories of the lives of missionaries and their service in Bengal. At the age of 12, she decided to commit herself to religious life, and so she did 6 years later. 2. She never saw her family again after joining the religious congregation. Leaving home in 1928 at age 18, she went to Ireland to join the Sister of Loreto at Loreto Abbey in Ranham. After a few months of training in Dublin, she was sent to India, where on May 24, 1931, she took her initial vows as a nun. She never returned to see her family, whose opinions regarding Teresa's decision were as follows. While her mother gave her permission with an open heart, her brother did not agree, even though she explained that this way she would serve the king of the whole world. However, Teresa took care of her family's graves and even visited them in her declining years. 3. She kept a pope waiting. In the 1960s, her work had already gained the attention of church leaders, who started calling on her, willing to support her projects. However, Mother Teresa stuck to her vows and put her mission work above everything else. There was this one time in 1965 when Pope Paul VI came to India to visit her, but she informed him that she was too busy doing her charity work and couldn't meet him. Instead of offending the Pope, this only made him admire her more for her dedication. He decided to support her cause by offering her the Lincoln he'd been driving around for his trip, which Mother Teresa accepted and then auctioned off to raise funds for her projects. 4. She founded the Diocesan Congregation Missionaries of Charity. It was her call within the call that made Mother Teresa decide to get involved precisely in helping the sick and the poor. In 1950, she received permission from the Vatican to start her own order, the Missionaries of Charity, that would, according to her, care for the hungry, the naked, the homeless, the crippled, the blind, the lepers, all those people who feel unwanted, unloved, and uncared for throughout society, people that have become a burden to society and are shunned by everyone. The congregation had grown to more than 4,000 sisters by 1997, and even today, It carries on the healing work that Mother Teresa did not only dream about but lived for. 5. Mother Teresa received the Nobel Peace Prize. The most famous honor that Mother Teresa was awarded was the 1979 Nobel Peace Prize. Hearing that she had been selected by the Nobel Committee, she said that she was unworthy. The U.S. President Carter, who was one of the nominees himself, sent Mother Teresa a message congratulating her for the award that was richly deserved. Mother Teresa did not forget her life's purpose even while standing in the Hall of Fame. She reminded the audience that what she was most aware of was the condition of the poor, and she refused the traditional Nobel banquet hosted for most recipients as a celebration. She insisted that the equivalent of $190,000 be used to help the poor she was working among. Now, what would you do with the $190,000? 6. She faced personal doubt in her beliefs. It's all fun and games until you have to keep a faith of steel while seeing the world's downside. Even though you wouldn't dare to imagine someone as modest and devoted to God as Mother Teresa having doubts, apparently, she was only human. Correspondences over her lifetime revealed that she faced many doubts about God and couldn't always feel His presence in her life as strongly as she felt she should. However, she put the blame on herself for the misery this caused her. What is truly admirable, though, is the remarkable way in which she turned those doubts into fuel to keep her doing what she believed was best for humanity. 7. In spite of being so liberally involved with social work, Mother Teresa had a strong pro-life position. She believed that unborn babies were the weakest of the weak and insisted on how important it was for expecting mothers to be helped and cared for. Furthermore, in 1994, at the National Prayer Breakfast, she even stood in front of U.S. President Bill Clinton, a Democrat, saying that she felt that the greatest destroyer of peace today is abortion because it's a war on the child, a direct killing of an innocent child, murder by the mother herself. 8. Mother Teresa's Kalighat Home for the Dying raised controversy. Established by Mother Teresa in 1952 in the building of an abandoned Hindu temple, it was a free hospice for the poor. People who were brought to the home received medical attention from the missionaries of charity, and the idea was for them to be given the opportunity to die with dignity. However, in 1991, after visiting the home, Robin Fox, editor of the British medical journal The Lancet, wrote that the medical care patients were given was haphazard. He explained that the personnel had little to no medical knowledge and that serious medical errors related to decision-making, pain management, or even diagnosis of curable and incurable diseases were systematically made. These aspects were confirmed by other reports as well, documenting the situation. 9. Baptism of the dying was another controversial aspect of Mother Teresa's work, the ultimate supposed remedy that the dying were to receive in the hospices run by Mother Teresa and the missionaries of charity was baptism. The members of her order were encouraged to baptize dying patients without regard to the individual's religion, as Mother Teresa considered it to be beautiful for no one to die without receiving that special ticket for St. Peter. This was happening in a country where the large majority of the population was Hindu. Strong criticism was brought to this practice, as critics argued the patients were not in a position where they could consent clearly and unequivocally, both because of their health condition and because they were usually not provided with sufficient information regarding the theological significance of a Christian baptism. 10. Mother Teresa received a state funeral. Mother Teresa passed away in 1997 at the age of 87, and the Indian government decided to give her a state funeral to honor her lifetime work with the sick, the needy, and the poor. What is interesting is that in India, state funerals are normally reserved for the president and the ministers. The criteria are based on their service to the country, and the entire country is asked to mourn. However, Mother Teresa was once again the exception to the rule as she received a state funeral as an expression of gratitude from the Indian people. She was buried in Kolkata after a 6-hour ceremony. 11. Mother Teresa lived a strict life of discipline, having given up the comfort of her own life when she was a child and her family lost its status after the loss of her father. Mother Teresa understood the depth of the sacred vow she took when she became a nun. Thus, she got used to living in the same poverty as those she was trying to help. However, some of the nuns who met her claimed that she was very stubborn and insistent about how to care for the poor as well as distribute the supplies. She was very strict regarding the way she treated fellow nuns, to the point that she was denying them many creature comforts, including heating, mattresses, and proper seating. 12. She also got involved in international charities. Mother Teresa made several trips outside of India for humanitarian reasons. For example, in 1982, she rescued 37 children trapped in a frontline hospital at the height of the siege of Beirut. This was made possible with the help of the Red Cross, whose workers accompanied her through the war zone to the hospital so that she could evacuate the young patients. Mother Teresa also traveled to Armenia after the 1988 earthquake to support the relief effort and to Ethiopia to help starving people. Furthermore, she visited Chernobyl after the nuclear disaster to comfort the victims of the radiation. 13. Mother Teresa's beatification was fast-tracked. Normally, the Vatican does not begin the process of beatification until 5 years after the person's death. However, in Mother Teresa's case, Pope John Paul II decided to waive the requirement and immediately began the process of canonizing her. In 2003, 6 years after her death, Mother Teresa was beatified by the Pope, the second of the 4 steps in the canonization process. This made her known as Blessed Teresa of Kolkata. Her beatification was based on her extraordinary service to the poorest of the poor, even though some critics claimed her rapid rise to sainthood was more political than spiritual. 14. She refused the Medal of Freedom in a way only she could. When U.S. President Ronald Reagan offered Mother Teresa the Medal of Freedom in 1985, she refused to accept it. Mother Teresa's reason for rejecting the award was that she did not want any personal recognition for her work. She believed that any award should be accepted on behalf of the poor and those she worked to help. However, after much insistence, she eventually accepted the award on the condition that she would use it to bring attention to the issues faced by those in poverty and encourage more people to help. 15. Her legacy lives on. Even though she passed away over 2 decades ago, Mother Teresa's legacy continues to live on. The Missionaries of Charity, the order she founded, continues to operate around the world, helping those in need. Mother Teresa's work and her teachings continue to inspire millions of people to live a life of service and compassion. She has become a symbol of love and care for the world's most vulnerable, and her life's work serves as a reminder of the power of kindness and the impact one person can have on the world. And that's a wrap for today. We hope this video inspired you to be more compassionate and to help others in need. What do you think about Mother Teresa's life and work? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.